Spider-Man Friend or Foe is a 3D beat-em-up that feels like a proper evolution of its genre. Not that beat-em-ups needed to evolve to begin with, but if they did, this is how you do it. The combat is simple, immediately intuitive, but still harbors a wealth of strategic depth. You're only given a punch button, grab button, and jump button, but so much potential springs forth from that. Oh, and the game is Spider-Man themed too, which is always nice. Anyway, the gameplay is as follows. You enter a room and a bunch of bad guys appear. You defeat those bad guys to proceed forward. So yeah, the fundamentals from retro brawlers are all in place, but the combat mechanics are entirely reworked. You can do a basic punch combo, sure, but holding that punch button sends you airborne, where you can either continue with mid-air jabs or hold jump to transition into a swing. Then from that swing you can hold punch again to slam down, or press grab to whip an enemy airborne with you, tossing them into their allies. At every moment of gameplay, nearly every attack can be branched off into a new string. If you want to deal straight damage, you just press punch. If you want to get vertical, you press jump, and if you want to twist or toss your foes around, tap grab. So let's say you want to grab a guy. You press grab, then what? Well, you can hammer on him while he's subdued with punch or press grab again to throw him, but if you decide to jump, you'll perform a vertical AoE slam. See what I mean? The game instills an instinctive association in the player's mind, informing them that at any point in their combo they can alter its utility with a singular, precise button press. This streamlines otherwise complex maneuvers, enabling folks of any skill level to easily experiment with the expansive moveset. This sort of approachability usually comes at the cost of depth, but Friend or Foe strikes a solid balance, thanks largely to its risk-reward systems. You see, much like the LEGO games, you lose currency if you perish, but you also gain currency if you perform well. The more combos you string together, the better you cooperate with your allies, and the more varied your tactics are, the more juice you get. Said juice is spent on character upgrades which actually feel substantial, because they unlock entirely new avenues of play. Switching between Spidey's 3 webbing styles and his upgradable abilities feels like swapping to different characters, thanks to the relative nuance of each available option. Speaking of swapping characters, Friend or Foe also lets you control a cavalcade of Spidey's allies and enemies, hence the title. These goons and goody two-shoes each have their own moves to master, and though most of them are considerably less involved than Spidey himself, it's hard to complain about the variety. Playing Doc Ock feels entirely different to Rhino, which feels entirely different to Blade, which feels entirely different to Venom. They all serve their own utilities, and while it was plainly difficult to balance around their inclusion, experimenting with their abilities reveals new depths to the already robust combat mechanics. I don't want to make this sound like a masterpiece, alright, but everything here works. It's deep enough to justify the attention of genre veterans, particularly when you factor in the upgrade system and scoring mechanisms, but it's instantly playable for anyone who's never used a controller before. That's an admirable, almost impossible balance to strike, and I approve. And hey, the game design, impressive as it is only half the joy. Friend or Foe is a proper globe-trotting adventure, bursting with the usual Saturday morning sass and Spidey charms. The writing is joke a minute during cutscenes with ample wordplay and appreciably bombastic character banter. I wouldn't say it's a love letter to the license, but this isn't lazy stuff, and there's a clear respect for the history and personality of the entire cast. It's just a bit shy of a feel-good comedy romp. So yeah, I think Friend or Foe is really, really good. It does trend toward tedium as it goes, given its singular focus on melee combat, but it's hard to fault the design, style, characterization, or positive attitude. This game was largely seen as a forgettable footnote in Spidey's gaming career, but I think it's a glimpse into an alternate reality, one where developers actually succeeded at bridging the gap between hardcore enthusiasts and casual fans.